Hello, welcome back to another episode of Leo Interviews. Today we have Alex with us.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. How about you?
Doing great. Long day.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Tell me a little bit about you.
A little bit about me. I was born in Ukraine, raised in Chicago, moved to Austin about 11 years ago when I met my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but I met her and moved down here. I've been a Czech practitioner, a holistic health practitioner for about 20 years. And as you know, recently started a beef jerky company several years ago. So mostly I've been spending my time teaching people how to get healthy, getting healthy myself, being an entrepreneur, figuring all this stuff out. And then my now business partner came in and asked to, he wants to make a protein bar. And so now I'm waist deep in meat.
And for all the people who are watching, hopefully they can see correctly. This is Berski. You guys can flip your phone if you're watching this in whichever direction you want.
There it is. There it is. Oh, there it is. Perfect.
And one thing I noticed about on here is I actually really love on how you used 25% beef liver and 5% beef heart. Why do you put that in your jerky?
I grew up eating organ meats my whole life: liver, heart, kidneys, tongues, and it's regarded in the animal kingdom as one of the more, I guess, high value meats. So a lot of the times you'll see a lion will take an animal and they'll go for the organs first before they eat anything else. It's the most nutrient dense part, but as most people know from their grandmothers, they haven't always cooked it the best, so they tend to avoid eating it. But it is the most nutrient dense. So I added that in there because I wanted people to eat organ meats again. And it's very nutritious, it's very healing, it's very good for your body and your hair, skin, nails, muscles, glands, tissues. It helps you repair your body. And gives your body what it needs. So I added it in there, and the whole goal was to add it in there without getting people to taste it. Now, some people can taste it in the salt, and then it gets less in the salt and pepper, and then we have a new flavor coming out that you can't taste it at all, but it's pretty spicy.
And also, for all the people watching this right now, I'm just going to take a bite. Amazing. I love it. And the reason why I love this jerky is because most of the brands don't really have that much flavor in their jerky, but this one, you can fully taste everything instead of just I can taste the totally 100% real chicken that's totally not processed, that's totally not from a chemical nuclear factor reactory thingy fligmajiggy. And because in those brands, right, you can taste just one flavor, that's it. But with the Berski, hopefully I'm holding this correctly, you can see not see, but you can taste all the unique and different flavors.
Yeah, I think, they say it's terrible to put barbecue sauce on steak. They say if you put barbecue sauce on steak, the steak's not good. So the whole goal was to get people to eat meat again. And so that was exactly what we were going for, is to eliminate all the preservatives. So there's no preservatives in there other than celery and salt. And then what you're left with is, since we smoke all of our beef sticks, so you're getting the smoke, you're getting the meat, and you're getting the full flavor of the meat, which is exactly what we were going for. Thanks for tasting that.
You're welcome. Also, I can probably eat this entire thing right now.
And you're holding the big one too. We have two sizes, and you're holding the monster one too.
Oh yeah, I actually ate 2 monster ones in one day. I don't know how my intestines and stomach lived, but they did. This is at least maybe a 1.5 foot long worth of meat right here. What was your biggest challenge making Berski, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge to making Berski, there's a lot of them. I'll kind of rattle them off, and then you can tell me what's interesting to follow up on. It was finding the right quality of meat. So I wanted to find something grass-fed, grass-finished, and pasture-raised, because you can have grass-fed, grass-finished feedlot animals, like they're in their little lots, and so they don't see outside. So grass-fed and grass-finished doesn't mean they're always outside. So I needed to have all three of those things. And then the other part was finding someone who will make it for us. So the making it for us, it was people want to use preservatives. All these manufacturers want to use preservatives. So having to have enough research in the USDA to be able to tell them how I want the meat made and why it's okay to make it this way. And so we found someone to do that. Then to find some packaging, and then distribution, which one's going to do it. And, there's all these like hidden fees and things like that. And then those have been the biggest challenges, because it seems, we've done everything that we've done so far without a marketing department. So once people try it, they end up converting because it tastes good and it tastes real. So marketing is still one of our struggling departments, but it seems like the beef sticks, once people try it, carries the brand. But yeah, some of the biggest things that were hard to do was, and I would say also bootstrapping this. So using our own money to start this company, because the biggest thing is, it's not like it takes months to make the product, and then by the time it gets to a distributor or someone who can package it and it gets ordered, it's months. And then having all of that up front yourself, and then as you grow and scale, you have to produce more, so it's more out of pocket. So it's like that's the biggest struggle, is that cycle of like, okay, how do we get this going and keep this going, and then eventually it feeds itself. But yeah, that's been like, okay, how do we buy enough, but then we always sell out? So like, how do we buy enough that we can not sell out, but we can keep moving? That's been logistics. That's been the most interesting thing.
Recently, or earlier today, I just interviewed the CEO of Mock Milk, and I asked him this question: why did you name your brand what it is? So for you, why did you decide to name your jerky Berski?
So I'll tell you the story. Normally I skip over the story, but I'll tell it to you. So we had another company name, and it was unique. It passed all the things, but someone sued us as a trademark violation. And so even though we could have pursued it and spent money and all this other stuff, and I talked about earlier, bootstrapping, we're bootstrapping this. So like we made a decision. Do we want to pursue this one name, or do we want to come up with a different name? So we spent probably 8 to 10 hours a day for a good week coming up with different names, and they all had to pass. I call them the 4 tests. Like, do they have a website? Do they have a social media? Is someone currently using it? And then someone trademarked it. And so, is the web domain available? And so we couldn't really find anything that fit, that wasn't wordy and long. So we took my business partner's last name, Blomberg, B-E-R, and then we took S-K-I, Rybczynski, out of my name, and we got Berski. So it's a unique combination of two of us working together to create something good, and it ended up rolling off the tongue. And we sat with it for about a week, and we're like, okay, let's, hey, do you have any more Berski? Grab me a Berski. And so we kept using the name to see if it rolls off the tongue, and that's how we came up with Berski. We smushed our 2 names together.
Oh wow, very interesting story. I don't think I could have imagined why don't we get my dog's name and I guess mash it with my name. I would have never thought of that. So that's very genius thinking.
We had to make up a word because we're like, what won't get us basically another trademark violation? So we made up a word, and then they're like, there's no way anyone can challenge our trademark because we made it up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because if you make something up, no one could compete with you. It's because you made it up. No one else did.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Mm. But now you know. You can switch names together, and it totally works.
Maybe I should try that with me and my dog. I don't know. Could work.
What's your dog's name?
Oh, Cash.
Cash?
Mm-hmm.
Lash? That works. Well, yeah, Lash is definitely a thing out there. Anyway,
Yeah. If you think we could all change the world by doing one thing, what would it be?
doing good things even when no one is looking. You know, if there's a lot of people out there that are, giving out money on video and they're getting, views on social media for it. And yes, it's a good thing. They're giving money to, homeless people, people in need, things like that. But, what happens when the camera's not recording? What happens when no one's watching? Like, do you pick up the trash? Do you open the door? Do you help people because it's the right thing to do, even if no one's praising you for it? I think the world would be better off because it feels good to do nice things without expecting validation or some form of applause that, oh, you're a good person. So doing things for the right reasons, even when no one's watching.
Yeah. Because I in the world, there's like a bunch of people that like, oh, look at me, I'm doing something good. But then, like you said, as soon as the camera's off, they go back to doing, I guess, maybe even more Berski. I don't really know. But they go back to doing their thing. It's like, shouldn't you, like, keep continuing to be nice? Like, it's like, I think also another reason why they do it is for, like, maybe, like, popularity or just, like, oh, hey, I did this good thing. Now everybody, like, follow me,
Yeah, and they also get clicks. The more views you get on, all these social media platforms, the more engagement you get, the more you get paid by these platforms. So then they use that payment to then continue that cycle of getting clicks, which is a good thing. But like we're talking about, is continue to be a good person even when the cameras are off.
Exactly. Yeah. What is one thing that you wish you learned earlier in your life?
I wish I learned earlier in my life that you could actually be way more efficient with less time than someone that has more time but is less efficient. So when I had my child, I noticed that I was taking her to school, I was picking her up, we spent time together, and so I had to cram so much stuff in between like 8:30 a.m. until about 3 o'clock. And so before I had, kids, it was like, oh, I had all this time to do stuff, but really and then I would procrastinate and waste my time in so many different like leakages, the little leaks everywhere of time. And so when I realized that, you can get so much done. When I had kids, I was like, man, I'm getting so much done. It feels like I'm not doing anything at all, but I'm getting so much done. It's really wild to see. So I wish I learned that earlier, that instead of like procrastinating, to do the thing that you're supposed to be doing, so then you can go have fun and do the thing you want to do.
Exactly. Very well said, by the way.
Thank you.
What's the biggest piece of financial advice that you could give to someone right now?
I mean, two immediately popped in my head. One is try to monetize the things that you want, which is like I have a cold tub, I have a sauna, and people come over, and since I have a holistic health practice, people are like, oh, can I use it? And I go, that are not my friends, that are like coming in as, customers. It's like, yeah, here's the price of it. And then I do the math on how many people need to come in and use the cold plunge so I can have a free cold plunge, is a sense, and because I use it. And so there's things like that you could do, that you could leverage to get the thing that you want for free, essentially. And then the other thing that was rolling around in my head, financial advice is delayed gratification is really, really good. It's like through Berski, we could pay ourselves through Berski, or we could scale Berski. And so Rickard and I both choose to grow Berski instead of getting the reward now. And so we're continuously working that up. And like, for example, also when I moved down to Austin, my wife and I, we were going through financial issues because I had no clients down here. So I had to build my business from scratch. And we didn't take vacations. We didn't spend money on useless things, on knickknacks and shows. We didn't really do much. Like our life became our vacation, and we made our life a vacation. And so when we moved here to where I'm sitting in my like almost 2,200 square foot gym where I coach people downstairs, and my manual therapy room. We have 5 acres here. We put all our money into this sanctuary, and that became our vacation, but also became our business. So as people come in, we don't have to pay rent somewhere else. So now people are coming in, paying us, and now we're saving all this money on the back end. And if I didn't do any of that, there wouldn't be a way I could start Berski because I didn't have savings to start Berski. So delayed gratification is really nice because it, like I'm not a big like car person. Like I love cars, but unless I had money falling out of my pockets, there's no way I would buy a car because, as I'm sure you know, it's a depreciating asset. I think some people say it's like if you can't buy it, like what is it, like 25 times over, then don't buy it. So it's these kind of things. And because people get money and then they can lose it. I'm sure you've heard like if you have a $10 million company, but you have 10 million in expenses, you're making $0, right? But if you have $1 million company and you're making $500,000, you're making $500,000. So like which one's more profitable, the $10 million company or the $1 million company? So it's leveraging those kind of gratifications and having values around what your finances are, what your life is and what you want it to be. So that way when it comes time for you to enjoy yourself, then you can enjoy yourself.
Exactly. So, Berski is amazing. And for people watching who like jerky, especially my dad, does Berski have its own like a website?
Yeah, it's eatberski.com. We're on Amazon right now. We're on Amazon Prime, subscribe and save. We're launching in 500 stores here in May. And we're at a lot of local shops here in Austin and actually random shops across the U.S. So, shop in Wisconsin, shop in Michigan, and another shop in a bunch of shops in California. They're buying us on Fair and things like that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, those are the main, I guess, vehicles of buying Berski.
Before we wrap up, is there maybe a couple words that you would like to give to my viewers?
A couple words. One, I'm glad you guys are here. Two, I'm glad that you, at your age, are interested in taking care of yourself financially and you're being treated as an adult, which is exactly how I treat my kids as well. And that's how my parents treated me to get me used to the real world. So I'm glad whoever's listening to this is learning something from people who have, and I'm sure you've had way more wise people financially on your podcast. But I'm glad this is happening at a younger age, and don't forget to take a deep breath every once in a while and look around because life is pretty amazing. I know it's easy to get lost in, school and social circles and business and, your mind and interests. And it's like, hey, don't forget that the world is an amazing place to look around and take a deep breath, take your shoes off, put your feet in the dirt, get some sun on your skin, drink some water.
Very well said. I can't lie. Very well said. Well, that's going to be it for today's podcast. But, as always, we have our very special last bonus question. It is the biggest, the baddest, the most giantest, whatever you want to call it, question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What are your favorite pizza toppings?
Ooh, my favorite pizza toppings are, one, I don't eat dairy, so that's a little tough. So I have to have the dairy-free cheese, or gluten. So I have to get the gluten-free crust. And then I like sausage, green peppers. Man, I'm trying to list through them in my head. Would you say pizza toppings or one? I have to pick one.
No, it can be multiple. Multiple pizza toppings.
Oh, like everything. I like olives. I like onions.
Anything that you could that possibly fits on a pizza, you like.
That is gluten free, dairy free, and yeah, I'll put it on there. I'll eat it.
So very like I guess a lot of or a multitude of flavors, pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because my brain, when I eat them, my brain sifts them and then combines them and then separates them and combines. So I can taste everything separately, but also all together at the same time. It's a really bizarre thing.
I wish I had that. It's like a superpower.
Huh?
I said it's like a cool superpower.
It is that. I don't know how it benefits me.
Well, I guess it just benefits you for like, I guess short-term happiness. I don't really know. Flavor.
Joy for
Yeah.
momentary joy of being able to sift through all the noises and flavors, smells and sounds. And yeah.
Well, that's gonna be it for today's podcast. But it was nice meeting you.
Great meeting you too. Thanks, Leo.
Yes. Well, until next time, guys. Bye.